All right, all right, right. I believe your mic is also loud, yeah?
Yeah, it's very loud. It's my good. I noticed the time you interviewing the white lady. It was super loud. I know when
Okay.
you move it, but I could get the whole conversation.
Oh,
Because they were
yeah.
talking about the mental health part
Yes,
and
yes.
all those things. That was really, really deep as well.
Okay.
You're capturing the right people to actually, interview.
I just thought of getting opportunity, and I
Yeah.
came out to learn that one of them, she was a psychologist.
Oh.
Yes, which was more powerful.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that would be part 4.
Oh, okay.
The rest, those ones were just like speaking through experience,
Yeah.
and yeah, the conversation was flowing. Everybody gave their own opinion when it comes to mental health
Mental
issues.
health.
Yes, so I think since that's what we started with, we'll jump on that. Let me just do the introduction.
Okay, let's go.
Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Old Crow Podcast, where the vibe is always right, has always been right, it shall forever be right. I'm your host, as always, David Dominic. And tonight, we have another guest who doesn't need any introduction, because he has featured here before, and another guest
Yes, sir.
who is gonna introduce himself. This one will let him introduce himself. So, you're welcome, boss.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. Hey, people, how we doing?
Yeah, can you introduce yourself? Tell us your name.
Absolutely. Hey, how you doing? This is Chris, a.k.a. Cricky Smalls. That's my entertainment name. We are here for the hospitality, entertainment, and events movement. We're also all about dance hall, Zambian dance hall, and sport development.
Ah, okay, nice to hear. So,
Mr. Christopher Sakala. That's his government name. My boy for days.
no, you don't. You don't.
Guilty as charged.
Okay. Okay. So, Mr. Chris.
Kwaswawa.
Wakwaso, yes,
Wakwaso,
that's good.
Sakala, Kaolala, Sakala.
No,
That's
Tell
what I
them
was
about it.
no, you're from this end?
I'm from Northern.
Yeah, no wonder. No wonder I've been harsh on
That's my
us.
Chimboya.
Yeah, no, take it easy on us though.
Man.
Oh, name when Chimboya Kwasu.
We are the wise one.
We give them something to talk about, like when they're a bit bored. You know what I'm saying? When you need something to do. You guys.
Yeah, so Mr. Sakala, let's make sure that these guys, they shouldn't have any space here, because they feel themselves, they focus on it. So yeah, Mr. Sakala, I think what we'll start with first, since we had already started talking about mental health, we need to know what everybody is like, how they know mental health issues, okay? How they understand, okay? Because it seems like it's not something that we can just come up with it like this is how it is, but on the different ideas, I think that's how we can be able to make this awareness of mental health. So for you, I would like to know what you understand about mental health issues, first of all, as our opening conversation for tonight.
Yeah, no, so thank you so much once again for having us. But yeah, it's an honor and a pleasure to be able to share something, because I really think that mental health is a very serious issue. I think just by virtue of how we operate, the standard African, Zambian, I'll speak, I'll definitely lean towards the male child, but the female child as well.
Okay.
I believe that it stems from that. I think that we create certain types of facades or almost perfection boxes. The way that we create a school structure, I still don't think, number one in class, number two in class. I don't know. Do we actually foster the right environments for people to ask the right questions? Sex education, drug education. You know what I mean? These are the things that really drive that movement. So I think that the first thing that we have to do is we have to lift the veil off of our eyes of what is realistic and what's not. We have to start with education, but then we also need to find a way, right, to be able to talk about these things. It's amazing when you actually get someone to talk about it, and they say things that they probably wouldn't say most times. And deep down we all have a little something we would love to talk about. We have a little pain somewhere. So it's a very, very hot topic, and yeah, it's amazing what can be done if we talk about it a bit more.
Okay, so Mr. Chris, I would love to pick from your explanation. You talked about education, okay, and you also talked about some kind of different type of education, and looking at the education that our young ones are taking now. Do you think it's up to that standard for it to reach to what you meant, like sex standards and also these other standards you've mentioned? Do the teachers or people in the institutions of this, do they really teach them that education?
No, I don't think they do it enough. I don't think there's enough interpersonal touch with a lot of things that we do. We still like to, because of the unfortunate neglect that we have against excellence and standards and systems, right? And when I say that, I mean, like, as much as we do have them and we set them up, how well do we administer them? You know, I feel like there's still a lot of loopholes that are used for convenience. There's so much of not what you know, but who you know. So what that means is that it creates a platform for the real things to not get through. And if the monitoring mechanisms are not there, then that's how it falls apart. And that's why I say, that's why I attack the system, by virtue of the monitoring mechanism. And the reason why we know that monitoring mechanisms are there is because we don't talk enough. Because if we talk, then we'd know. And so I think connectivity, and so that, and that's what, some of the dreams and the aspirations of projects we have for the, in the future, is to create connectivity, because, accountability is a very important thing. And it's amazing what you get when you actually have someone in front of you.
Okay, I've heard you mention about the loopholes on the way as you are explaining, okay? So how would we avoid these loopholes, and also how would we advocate for this education that you've mentioned?
Yeah, it's first and foremost incentivize, it's simple, things are not that difficult. The little things in life always make a difference. Incentivize simple little things. Create mechanisms if we do community drives together. And we don't, we have to make sure that people remember you for certain things that you do. There's a certain law of sales that we have. It's called the law of reciprocity. And the law of reciprocity sounds like a big fancy word.
Yeah.
But what it is, man. He doesn't know what, what? Anyway, no, certainly the law of reciprocity is basically the whole philosophy of Imbasela that we know very well. Imbasela, right?
Okay.
So once you get to the market and mama hooks you
Something
up,
extra.
right?
Yeah,
The freebie, man, you know what I mean? The freebie, the giveaway,
Okay.
not hooks you up. Hookups, you get hookups all the time, the freebie. Once someone gives you a freebie like that, let's all ask ourselves the question. That mama that gave you the first Imbasela, can you walk past her in the market?
No.
Still go back to
Good answer.
reciprocity. Yeah, so.
Every time. So
Yeah, he says so many fancy words, so break it down, my brother.
I'm trying to, I'm trying to, make sure that I should be able to remember all those words, but sounds there,
He's got a great mind. I always tell him, he's got a great mind. So basically, what he was talking about is true. Like, when you go to a marketplace, the person who gave you that Mbasela, you still want to go back there, because it's how now you create that, kind of like, not can be called a partnership, because now you're like partners, because you've invested into their business. You buy.
Yeah.
They give you. You know what I mean? So like, demand and supply. So let him finish off, because I need to do my own introduction.
sorry, we all forgot your name, right here.
This one doesn't need any introduction. He has been here. So, but anyways, we did for the sake of the people who wasn't like
to
watch that video. So I would allow him to introduce himself as well. Or maybe I introduce you.
Professor.
Yo.
Yeah, of course.
I
Right hand
introduce you,
Russ, first
or maybe
and
you introduce
foremost.
yourself. But
Right
no,
hand
I'll
Russ.
introduce you.
Yes,
Because
sir.
I know you now. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was
This-
I would allow the people who just comes in like for the first time to introduce themselves, but I might miss out something, you know what I mean?
Of course.
So like for him, he is the Black Judas, Russ Reuben.
See, he said Black Judas. The Black Jew.
Black Jew, not Das. Remove the Das. The
Yeah.
Black Jew.
Russ Reuben,
Russ
aka
Reuben.
the Black Jew.
Yeah.
The God-fearing son.
The God-fearing son, and he's still coming back though. So maybe you finish up the introduction. Maybe I might.
Amen.
Well, apart from the Judas part, it's like me saying, David the second, the third,
the third.
Davis. No, but yeah, it's so good. I feel like, honestly speaking, I feel like most of the time people forget. I've met people 3 or 4 times, and we just have a conversation, but we don't really introduce ourselves. You know how you get to remember names? When you start having a conversation.
Okay.
Every time you meet that person who's like a stranger, or maybe you go to a certain place that you meet that person, but your energies always connect.
Yeah.
Umankalaija tupeza ati wabwamvela nsoni kumfunza mzako ati what's your name? I've forgotten your name. Don't be shy about it. Just ask that person like, I've forgotten your name, bro. Like, what's your name? I remember last time we had a conversation, but what's your name? So that's how you get to know names, because you can still have a conversation. But most of the time, you can introduce yourselves. What really remains the most important thing is what you talked about.
Scientifically
You know what I mean?
proven, actually. Sorry to jump in. Scientifically proven, the sweetest sound to your ears is actually your name.
Okay. Oh,
Once
even
you get
you
the
support
name.
that?
Yeah, once you get the name,
You support about the names?
All the way, sir.
So I think the first conversation we had with him it was about the names, okay? He came in, then we introduced each other. We're like, "What's your name?" I was like, "David." Like, "Oh, David! Wow, your name is very powerful." We're like, "Okay," and then
King
that's how we
David,
started, okay? So now you also support the name part.
Absolutely. My name is Christopher. Christ offer. Carrier of Christ.
there you go. You see now. See, remember how we had that conversation about how names are so important?
Oh yes.
See how he feels his name.
So wait a minute. So what about those old days, like your time when you were young, and then the parents who are giving the children's, when those funny names, okay? I don't want to
Arsene
mention
The
names.
Molino?
guys from the east.
No, like the guy from the
Ketchup,
north.
ketchup.
Tishala, Fidia, Simba.
What shall I pick?
Endless
Shut up,
Maputo.
Garbage. But you
Arsene
guys
Molino.
from the east are the worst, bro. Mafuto,
Listen.
Okay, yeah.
Frank Shaft, Banda, anything, bro.
At least it's remembrance, man.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but so what
Yes.
about what do you say about such names now? Looking at your parents, okay? Those are parents who are giving their children such names. So, what's your take on that one?
I think people sometimes get excited to give their children names. Look at this guy. I'm a parent. The moment I was a parent, I couldn't wait to give my kids names, because I've always had, I've always imagined to give my children names. It's one of those things. Powers off. Back again. So, but we shouldn't derail from the topic about mental health. I feel like
no, we still come back.
Mr. Sakala right now, he didn't probably finish his take on mental health. But when it comes to names, I'm a father. I'm a father of 3, and I feel like names are so important, because that's what somebody knows you by. That's what they call you by. Later on in life, you can achieve all these titles. That's why you find that the core titles, not names. Professor, doctor, brigadier general, and all those things. Those are titles, but no names. But what really carry weight is your name, because people would know exactly where you're coming from. Even if I hear your surname and you told me, oh, you either Mwila or so many names out there. Sometimes people even wonder. For my names, I've got like 2 names that sound like surnames. My government names are Ngandu Sinkala. So people always ask me like, which one's the first? Which one's the surname? Which one's?
And you
And I have to
didn't mention about
explain to them.
Sinkala on the first one.
Because I'm from the Bemba tribe and the Namwanga tribe.
Okay.
So names are very, very significant. Like Mr. Sakala right here. Before I knew it was like my chumbuya. Now I really take advantage of him because it's my chumbuya.
I know, right?
So I can say anything to him. So
On borrowed time, brother.
so names are really, really important. I feel that they play a very significant role in your life because that's what you're called by. Like he said, when you have a conversation with somebody, even if I met you today, right, and I forgot your name or you forget my name, then we come and meet somewhere. We can have a conversation without asking each other, what's your name, Baba? If both of us don't have that approach of saying, you know what, I forgot your name. But if you remember somebody's name, when you see them afar, what do? You call them by the name.
So what really matters? Is the name or maybe the experience or conversation you've had?
I think names are more important. You can have a conversation with anybody. And it depends what conversation you're going to have. Whether it's a very fruitful conversation, one of the most fruitful conversations that you'd have, and it means so much to you. You know what? You'd want to know that person's name. But if it was a stupid conversation and you don't remember even the conversation, if it didn't really carry weight to you, why would you want to remember that person's name? For what?
Okay.
What about a situation where you remember someone's name, like me remembering your name, but I just don't want to talk to you, so pretend I don't know your name?
See, I gave a very good example.
Okay.
I know your name, but I'll pretend like I didn't even know it, like I don't even want to talk to you.
Oh.
What do we do then? I'm sorry, what's your name again?
See?
Mr. Chris, you mentioned, you say, what does your name mean? Christ what?
Christ offer, carrier of Christ. Christ offer.
Christ offer, he offers.
Carrier of Christ.
Yes. Okay, I
That's
didn't
what
know.
Christopher, that's what Christopher.
Okay. Is it also biblical?
Extremely.
Because there's Christ in it. Christopher, there's Christ in it as well.
Christ
Offer.
Christ offer.
People go deep on the names. Like,
But don't you think like maybe parents they just think of a name, it's David, or maybe we just give him Christopher because of the grandparent was the Christopher, so also give him like that.
well, it depends.
I think so. I mean, it's definitely there to some extent. There's definitely some lineage, but again, you'll still find that there's still something symbolic.
Something
Because-
symbolic, yeah.
We believe in child, we believe in God here, all of us, and so we know that His hand is there, and His mercies and His grace are, key to
Okay.
all elements of our existence.
So is it true that one when they say at man's I can fall, for example, if maybe my grandparent was David, and then I've been given the same name because of maybe he was doing great stuff. So is it likely? Am I likely to get that mentality or behavior that you had, or the good deeds that I was doing, or maybe it's just something which just happens there in a way?
You want to go first?
Look, I think
I
that
totally don't. Yeah, you go first.
No, I would say, look, I think ultimately birds of a feather flock together, and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So ultimately,
Wow.
whatever you
Okay.
whatever you find yourself as, the norm in your everyday life will be, it will be the norm for you. Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You are a product of your surroundings. So the name, yes, is influential to some extent by virtue of what it does bring, but you still will feel the name for, there's two, there could be different types of Christophers, for instance. One of them
Maybe
is
there's a naughty Christopher.
Notorious B.I.G. We also have
One became a
Superman.
prince, one became a
We
thief.
also have funny Christopher Columbus. Actually, no. To be fair, I think all
Yeah, the guy
all the Christophers
who claimed he discovered
they seem to be
America.
holding it down. I was trying to list off.
It's a great name. It's a great name. So what? Are you done, bro?
I think so.
You think so? You
Call
know
me,
so.
Call me Christopher.
Sakala.
Okay.
Sakala. Remember Sakala audio.
Yeah, that's you guys.
So secondly, for my brother, what he said, truly names carry the spirit of a lineage.
Okay.
Names have been passed on. When I say a lineage. So imagine if one name had died to never be heard of, right? There's certain names that people don't want to name their children. Even if it's the name itself is just a symbol, it's symbolic. But what power does that symbol carry? See, like he said, there can be so many Christophers, there can be so many Reubens. But that Reuben that your father wanted to name after, was he a good Reuben? Because why would you want to name your child a certain name or after? It depends. Whether you're going to choose a name or you're going to name your child after a person. Are you getting my point? You can just pick a name. But where did your sense of being, come from for you choose to say, no, I'll give my child this name? Was it a name from my grandfather, my uncle, or is it a name that I just know, and I feel like it's a nice name and I can give it to my child? But you should always pray after those names and say, that child should be great, that child should do good things. Imagine you just come and give your child a name like Lucifer. And people are like, so Lucifer, yes, once upon a time Lucifer was a good being, then chose to be bad.
In the moment.
But how many people would you know would try to name their son or daughter Lucifer? Or words like demon? There's certain words that can actually be names, but nobody wants to name their children, after certain either entities or people, either or bad. It's like you naming your child Hitler. People were like, even the fully Adolf Hitler. You know what I mean? Like, who was Adolf Hitler? This is a man who was, had killed 1,000 Israelites, Jews, and they wanted to rule the world in a bad way. Or maybe Mussolini. Like, people would ask you, why are you naming your child Mussolini? But now imagine if you name your child a name like Kenneth Kaunda, Mandela, Kwame Nkrumah, the great people, Martin Luther, Malcolm X. People are like, those are great people. These people fought for the righteous. So you really have to be very skeptical of what names you pick for your kids.
Well, I think
do your research. I think your research, just Google, man. You can simply just wake up and just Google a name.
I hear you.
Yes, sir.
So let's go back a little bit to Mr. Christopher there.
Yes,
when you
sir.
were explaining about, you mentioned about Basela, okay?
That was deep, though.
And then, that was deep. That couldn't just.
What was that word? Reciprocity?
Law of reciprocity.
Yeah, reciprocity.
Wow.
Law
And
of
then,
reciprocity.
is that marketing strategy or what?
Absolutely 101.
Straight up.
So
Sound
that's
like-
what, that's where if we really want people to engage, if we really want people to understand and appreciate certain things, we got to be ready to invest in trying to give some takeaway for them to be incentivized to have interest. And education is one of those things that, yes, for some people it's enough and it quenches their thirst, but no, the majority still need a little bit more.
So now, like, is it everyone who's supposed to do that or to have that mentality in business, or maybe it's just something once in a while which you have to do if you are doing the business?
Constantly. You gotta literally, like as they say, the best of the best. They give more than most. They're the last ones in the gym or in the office, in the lab. You know what I mean? And the first ones in.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, if you want it, you've gotta take it and you gotta give. So, it's a huge commitment, huge sacrifice.
Mr. Chris, I still feel like there's something that. Okay, I feel something that you still have, but I don't know how I'm gonna get it from you.
Out of him.
Yeah.
He's a big guy, man.
I can feel it. Okay?
See that we beat him out of it, both of us.
Yeah, I think so. Because like I always say, it was my first time meeting people and talking to them. And then for him,
He's
I
got
feel
a great
there's
mind.
something in it.
Dude, I'll tell you one thing, David. I'm not trying to cut it short.
Okay,
This
okay.
guy is got a great mind. I call him the gatekeeper.
The gatekeeper.
You know the people who are actually just by the gate. I've got this kind of like figurative kind of way, the way I like would want to picture him being a gatekeeper.
Okay.
He's a person who keeps the gates whenever you don't want anything bad to go inside the gate. You know what I mean? Because it's like security, like a gatekeeper.
Okay.
So the gatekeeper is the one who's usually got the keys in it.
You say gate man?
Yeah, the gate man.
Okay.
You know, because for you to enter, you have to go through the gate man.
Oh yes, oh yes.
But okay, metaphorically, what I'm trying to say is that he's a person who's got such a great mind. You know, and people who got great minds are keepers. You can have the money, but if you find a person who you've always wanted to find who can actually propel your business, this person's got a great mind. That's why you find people actually create maybe a company. I've got the money, you've got the brains.
Okay. Yeah.
You've got the money, brother's got the brains. He's got the ideas. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I see.
A great mind. Everybody's got a great mind. I'm not trying to actually say nobody's got a great mind.
Okay.
But are those people that you meet in life and say, what? He's got so much great potential. Because his mind was only great. Not only his words are great, or what he says are great, or what he says is great. Whatever. You know what I mean?
So, okay, I've heard now.
Yeah.
So, I think I will need to hear from him. So,
Get it out of him. Whatever you want to ask. Me, I told him you can.
So, what makes you that person who is the gate man, not the gate man, but the gate man?
The gatekeeper.
The gatekeeper, right?
And he keeps the keys. He's got the keys hidden.
Okay. What's so special about you? Let's hear.
No, firstly, I'm humbled. Russ Rubes is my right hand, Russ. That's how we roll. Look, I'll be honest with you. I think that in life we all have a duty, and the duty is to try to be the best we can be for everyone.
Okay.
So I think that I have a deep passion for understanding people, and I always believe that there's a value that can be added, whatever situation. It's one of the first things I love to do. A lot of my buddies, like, accuse me of maybe speaking to people, like, even like a female, like very full
he's
frontal.
He's a big friendly giant, brother.
Very full frontal in my approach with them. But it's very quickly because there's a very interesting passion that I have for people and connectivity, because I think that we're all a big network of family that just need to wake up and look after each other. Just look after each other. If you find a way to do that, then everything will be okay. And so, I also believe in God, and Jah says that everybody will always have their time. You know what I mean? Everyone will come right. So I guess there's also the importance of being able to have the gift or the blessing of discernment. I'm not gonna say it's there like that, but I'd love to say that it is what it is, and as Russ Rubes or his favorite line with the ladies, the eyes are the window into the soul.
This guy's
ready.
It's your line, bro. But why are you saying that? I always say that to the ladies, bro. Dude,
when's the last time you said it, though?
What should I say to a male? The male should know exactly what eyes do, bro. I should start telling a man, you know what the eyes do. The ladies need to know. I think women need to know more than we men already know. Men are supposed to be the seekers of the truth.
And then women?
Women are supposed to receive the truth. That's the reason why women submit, and it's not submission where they should submit to you. They should submit to the word, the good things that you're saying. A woman can't submit to bad things that you're saying.
But what if it's a lie and you're trying to make it like a truth?
You yourself, the truth always comes out, Baba. The truth, anything that's hidden in the dark shall come out.
At which point?
And at any other point, and that's God's timing. I believe in God's timing. You can tell a lie today or tonight. I believe in karma.
Okay.
Something's going to come
What
back
goes
to you.
around comes around.
Comes around. You can even just the truth itself. I mean, the word out there is that nothing is hidden. Nothing is hidden. You know what I mean? Everything shall come out in the light. Literally, I'll tell you the truth. I'm not a perfect person. I've lied before, thinking it's not going to come back to me.
Wait, did you lie about last week's drinks?
Drinks, what are you talking about? Just have your drink. What are you talking about, bro? So, but listen, David.
I think he has spoken the truth, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Well, they say the truth hurts.
The truth doesn't.
Me, I believe in the truth so much as I can tell a lie here and there. But I still believe. It's like you knowing that there's a true God out there. I would never want to deny Christ. That's the thing. I would never want to deny God. I think that's the most hypocritical thing that you'd ever do in your life. If you're a true believer in God, and today you're like Peter and say, no, I don't know Christ. You've denied him 3 times. Bruh, in this day and age, if you want to act like a perfect human being, well, good luck for you. All the best. But
When was the last time you lied to your chick, bro?
what chick are you talking about? A chicken. I breed chicks. What you talking about?
Yo, Carl, like now that we're breaking the truth out. So when's the last time you
Why are you
lied to your
talking
chick?
about women? You see the people who love talking about women are the ones who like women or who love women.
No, maybe.
I
No,
love
Mr.
women,
Chris.
bro.
Mr. Chris.
First of all, he stole my line. He was like, "Oh, you always, like you always tell the women, like, oh wow, the eyes are the windows to the soul." Blah 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 blah. Look at that woman already just looking at you. You see that?
Yo.
You see, yeah.
So what's she looking at, though?
I don't know,
The one in
man.
the dress.
It's not just a bait. You see, he's already distracted. He's already distracted.
No, actually, no, we've caused him to be distracted. He has put it in it.
You see how he easily falls for the trap. See?
What?
You know?
Well, if you
He
say
did already. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So the way that you would say, like, whoa, we guys. Are we talking about mental health?
Oh, yeah, it's part of
Women
I'm
distraction.
a bit crazy about what I just saw.
Let us not derail, guys. Let's stay focused. Hey, focus, man.
Yeah,
Focus.
that's part of it.
It's part of therapy.
Oh, of course.
For the eyes,
The eyes, yeah.
Guys, see, guys.
The window to the.
So,
Oh, okay. I think you have something similar in common. Like you have something similar.
choose my lines, man. He's always
Who steals
listening.
your lines? Who
This
steals
guy.
the lines between the two?
But he mocks me about
Real,
it.
man. Nah, man.
So you see, like,
I was just helping him. I was just trying to give his line some airplay. Man. That's all. That's your line, man. That's your one
Talk
line.
about, he's an entrepreneur. This guy is, like I said, is a great mind, he's a gatekeeper. He's the CEO of Malusaka. So talk about Malusaka, man. What are the platforms that
so
you
let's
need?
see it from there now.
David, you never know. David is going to blow a couple of months. You never know, because God is great. Yahweh is great. The Mosai is great. You never know. David can just blow. David podcast, Old Crow podcast. David is happening. Well, there was a guy by the name of Christopher Sakala. We actually talked about Malusaka. Dude, break it down. So he's a CEO. This guy's gonna see. He's the CEO of a company.
Class is a state of mind, first and foremost.
Okay.
No, Dave, man, thank you so much, man. Like,
No,
literally,
I'm
once
humbled.
again,
Yeah,
you know, we truly appreciate. There we go.
Bob Marley playing in the
Fist
background.
bumps.
I love, man.
We're Zambian. Yeah. We're African. We fist bump at any time we can and click fingers. That's just the way it is. So no, right? No, thanks, Russ. Yeah, so no, we possess a couple of things that we think could create some changes. So Malusaka is a mobile application and website that hasn't come onto the market in its full-fledged form yet, because we're very, very passionate about connectivity and how to use tools that come into this market. First impressions last forever. There is a big uptake of fintech and a number of different types of technologies right now. So it's very, very vital that we do things the right way. So My Lusaka is designed to be your entertainment, hospitality, and events go-to place. It's designed to be your city guide, and it's designed to hold campaigns of the form of CDF, major initiatives that the government has. How do you become a Parmalat, distributor? For instance, if you're sitting wherever you are. So, a simple way for you to create connectivity in the way of a marketplace is what we want to do. And yeah, it's quite interesting. There's over 600 million smartphones, on the continent of Africa now. I'm sure the number's rising. That's a stat from a while ago. But right now we consume a lot of data. The problem I think we have is that the data that we're consuming, I don't know how valuable it is. Are we looking at the right things, and then how relevant is it to us? Because in all honesty, how would we find each other if not for today, randomly? And how would we find each other on Wednesday when we're all going to different offices and doing different things? Because LinkedIn, very intimidating. Facebook, also very, very, very geared towards things that and all your safe spaces. But we need to be able to create real, actual connectivity lines that are of value, that can create stakeholder engagement and meaningful discussion and dialogue around whatever industry and sector you're passionate about.
Okay, so Mr. Chris, I'd like to know what drove you, what made you start working on that same app you've mentioned about?
Trying to find people like yourself, trying to, like-minded people, access to information. And then I won't lie as well. I'm a very passionate Pan-Africanist, so I want to be a part of trying to make sure that we control certain elements of the value of our communities to make sure that the money goes back into our people. One Zambia, one nation.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so why is it important to someone like me, or maybe him, or maybe that person who's watching who doesn't know about it? Why is it that important?
First and foremost, because it's a real-time tool that allows you to communicate with someone depending on what your interests are. It also puts it in the palm of your hands. It's a mobile application and a website.
And it's Zambian.
And we can, it's pro-Zambian. We have notifications, we have blogs, so just like on your reel pops up, on the top of your phone, like when you get a WhatsApp, we have the ability to pop up into your people's phones. So we know that, build-ups and, development and expansion of events and creating avenues for, again, deeper and more intimate relationships in terms of communication and business connectivity will definitely drive it. It has to become a tool.
So, what's the feature of the same app that you're working on?
My Lusaka.
Yeah, My Lusaka. How many people do you how long you want it to run, and how many people do you want it to influence? You want people to influence?
So it's we when we look at a situation like the WhatsApp we use today, you got business versions, it's this, that, as well, tabs, things are popping up all the time. So, we've written a base code for our mobile application. It definitely should have more features. It should build, it should evolve, it should grow. As it, it has more people living and breathing in the ecosystem. And again, the ecosystem is designed to be there for everybody in the ecosystem. So would love to believe that the demands and the drives for whatever will change or create the most value will be actually established by those that need it the most.
So there are people who are out there, okay? Here we know we're in town. What about the guys who are not in towns there? Are you planning for them anything like that?
So, no, right now, like we said, the continent is actually littered with smartphones. So, for again, remember looking at business connectivity, we believe that, your average Airtel Money booth as well has the ability to be able to be a hub or a central position for someone to be able to find access to simple ways for someone to load. Okay, I've got X amount of kgs of watermelon or tomato, grape, you know what it is, you know what I mean?
After having
Right, and in all honesty, and then again, that's where we also have to make sure that we're intentional to make sure that we incentivize everybody makes some money. So if you're the one who's aggregating mama who's brought her fresh produce by virtue of being her connectivity person who has a smartphone, you should make some money from it. It's not just a favor. You know what I mean? So that they have that invested interest to make sure the phone is at optimum standard. They're there, they're on time, they're doing the right thing. Because it's business. I think that we hide behind money. We don't have these honest conversations. And we pretend money's not a thing, but money rules the world.
Mr. Chris, see, looking at these there are a lot of platforms which have come up from the time this media became this vibrant. How much are you working on scammers and stuff, like something like scammers? How secure is my Lusaka app?
So as you know, I mean, these, we have living and breathing. Oh, so we have Tony Dollar signs, by the way. He's our private. Shout out Tony. Yeah, Tony Dollars. Yeah, dollars.
Okay.
No, we have our own in-house. We'll call him like a Neo, right? He's like in the Matrix, right? So no. Jokes aside, but they've definitely Zikta. I've been to stakeholder engagement. I've been to policy decision-making events with Zikta where things are discussed, and I like the approach that Zikta has. It's one where it's very engaging. They are very interested in understanding how people receive and understand developments and changes, how they actually implement them in their own way, shape, and form. So it's definitely at the top of the priority list for us, safety and security, because, I believe in blockchain. Blockchain is not it's a very fancy term, but it's pretty simple and straightforward. Blockchain is it's an end-to-end ledger. All it means is that if we enter together to do the right thing, we should leave together doing the right thing.
Okay.
If somewhere in there something doesn't go right, the block is not complete, and that means the chain cannot continue.
So you reap what you sow.
Right. So, I think that we should be very strong in how we manage those types of things, and then because unfortunately, as much as I believe in Jah and we're fighting that fight, I don't know how well we're doing right now, because I think that unfortunately bad outweighs the good.
So for how long have you been working on the same project?
Many years. It's been a passionate dream.
Okay.
It's interesting, and if you walk past Jeff Bezos and however many millions he has that could be coming into pockets of the average everyday Zambian, then I guess you're not really as passionate as you should be. So I cannot lie, it's definitely connectivity, but also being able to affect the kind of economic change or trickle down that would change a lot of people's lives.
What are the most challenges you faced with building the same app?
I beg your pardon?
Most challenges that you faced in this time that you've been trying to work on the same project?
Definitely. Obviously, you have your everyday technical challenges, but it's also just markets like this. Technology uptake. The actual process of trying to get yourself to where you think it should be, where you come in. Because, like I said, I believe that solutions and tools are two different things, and I believe that the majority of what we have as mobile applications in this market are purely solutions.
Okay. Wow. So, wow.
A solution is one that once you get it, it's done. You leave it right there. A tool is something you pick up all the time. You carry it around in your back pocket. You need it all the time.
It's not like I'm out of questions, but I have a lot of
Remember,
questions.
I told you, man. His mind is so great that literally, you know, he unravels everything that probably he knows about. So. Yeah, so he will take you there. Keep on saying, wow.
I
Is
think,
that Caw-Caw? What you said?
Caw-Caw Let the good.
I haven't said that, man. I've always wanted. Every time
Okay.
I've watched your podcast, because the night I was just watching your podcast interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like, I need to say that. Caw-Caw, let the good times
Okay.
roll.
Yeah, let the good times roll. And just that
That's
I've
a
been-
cry of a crow, eh?
I've been excited as of late. Every time whenever I start the podcast, we just start like that. Like we've started, okay? Forgetting that we always have to say Caw-Caw.
Oh, yeah.
So, Mr. Chris, you are from Aquas, you. These guys, they understand very well. It goes over also that the crows,
crow,
they're
From the far
from
east.
Cover Belt side, yeah, this side.
Bathroom is actually on your right, or your other right.
So looking at here, this is the old crow.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the old crow, the real crow, when it's in the morning or evening, whenever it's just crowing like quack, quack, that's when it's about to get down. And then so we always have to do that before we start. So we're gonna say it.
No, we do it, yeah.
And we're having good time. So when I say we are here at the old crop of Caw-Caw,
Okay.
Let the good times roll.
okay. So let's do it. So 1, 2. So we are here at the old crop of Caw-Caw.
Caw-Caw, let the good times roll.
Nigga, you don't say Caw-Caw, man. He says
Oh,
Caw-Caw.
he said Caw-Caw.
Okay, let's say it together though.
No, man, no.
Okay, let me let me say it myself. Okay, so we are here at the old crop of Caw-Caw.
Let the good times roll.
Can we have like one cow each? Like I need a few T-bones.
Let's go.
I
1,
need
2,
some
3.
mince.
Cow.
Cow. Let the good times roll.
He said 1 cow each.
Yeah, man. A couple T-bones. Get some chuck for David. And not me, oxtail, man. Don't mess with the oxtail,
This guy's
bro.
talking
Don't
about
mess with
food.
the
You
oxtail.
see how this
Sorry,
guy is.
cow. Yo, shit, I got y'all.
Thinking about food.
Man,
Why
because
you
I
say
don't know. I have a future.
get
I have a few
David some
future
people.
ex-wives. I have a couple of future ex-wives, man. Like couple.
This guy is hungry, man.
Future
Give him some
ex-wives.
food.
And one of them might be from East Africa, man. I may need some cows. Bro.
Yeah. Okay, so Mr. Chris, from all the questions I've asked you, I've heard you were just responding with passion.
This guy is deep, man.
Okay.
God damn it.
So let's hear first of all what you understand about passion, then we hear about your passion. Because I don't know if you pay attention to yourself, like if you're able to hear yourself what you're saying. Almost all the questions that I'm asking you, in your response to has passion in it. Passion. So what do you understand about the same passion? For the people who doesn't know about passion, there are people who really don't know about what passion is, how to be passionate. They don't even know about that.
Break it down, son.
Break it down.
Yeah, wow. Thanks, Dave. I received the compliment. It's extremely humbling. Yeah, I think, I mean, inspiration, commitment. I think those are the words that come really strongly to me. Inspiration and commitment, because I think that we have a duty to do something for those that we have we're role models to, those that we have to look after. I mean, I have a very simple philosophy about what speaks to success in life. And if you can move the marker a couple of steps forward from whatever your parents gave you, whatever that was, then I think that you've
Carry
done
on the
your job.
legacy.
Okay. So, how would we carry that legacy for someone who is at the point of self-discovery?
Yeah, well, so actually, and when I say parent, sorry, just to clarify, any nurturing figure, any guardian figure that's around you is a parent figure, just to clarify. So, what it really is, you know, it really is a situation where, you know, we have to take on the responsibility. You know, responsibility is so vital and so critical and key. I find that we complain a lot about customer service and different things, in all different angles, different sectors. The gap starts when you throw a funny question out at somebody. You know what I mean? You throw them a curveball, something that makes them have to go outside the box. Yeah, you know, it's very interesting how. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I was kind of fortunate enough to have the kind of leadership, even in like developmental spaces in my life, that make you accountable. So I would always approach things with a solution, or at least a thought process. So I was never the person who was walking up to a boss or to someone who it is, you know, I'd even say mom, dad, you know, older siblings, whatever it is. It was not just a problem. This is what I did, or this is what I think we should do. I think those kinds of things like breed the right thought process. And so I think if we can try and filter that out, it would be good.
Okay. Russ, don't doze.
No, doesn't. Listen to him, bro.
Okay, you are listening,
Not hearing. Not hearing. I'm listening. So it's talking about the thought process, like, you know, before you approach something, definitely you have to prepare yourself for any given moment. I feel that anything that you want to do in life, when you think about it, already you're in preparation. And Rastafari always say, you overstand, you don't understand, you overstand. So when he talks, you know, I've always told him, for me, I'm a visionary. When people are talking to me, you know, I have visions, I see visions. And when you say a certain word to me, I'll probably want to spell it in my head already. That's how my mind is so engineered. So when he's talking, I'm seeing his words, I'm seeing pictures. Because you asked him about passion. Mm-hmm. What is passion about? What's led to that kind of passion? What drives his passion? You know, there's so many things in life that can drive your passion. They can either be negative and positive, or positive. Do you know that? Okay. Just because somebody said something to, like, I'll give it an example. Somebody telling you, David, that podcast will never work out. Dude, you're wasting your time. But you wake up in the morning, do your press-ups. And you're like, no, man. That person then said, I'm going to get on my laptop. I'm going to do my editing. I'm going to go through all my social media handles. I'll be consistent. That wasn't what I'd expect that a person to say to me. Every time we're doing something in life, we always expect somebody to say something good to us or about what we're doing. Do you understand? Or do you understand? Or do you get my point?
Okay. I hear you.
Every time you're doing something, you want somebody to compliment you every time. You never want anybody to come and tell you or put you down.
But do you think that's right? To expect too much of compliments from people or approval?
Well, that's not the way the world is designed, bro. That's not the way the world is designed. That's why there's sometimes what they call good criticism or analytical criticism. Somebody will analyze what you're doing and they just want to. It's good criticism. It's not bad criticism. You know what bad criticism is? Somebody telling you that will never work out. Good criticism is that, oh, maybe you're lacking this and that. Maybe you're lacking good lighting. You need some good lighting. Maybe you need better mics. But now, if you're so stubborn, you'll be like, no, I have good mics. I will never kind of like, uplift myself, upgrade myself from what that. So that person gave you good criticism, not bad criticism. Bad criticism is what somebody tells you, whatever you're doing won't work, will never work. So just stop it. Good criticism somebody will tell you, dude, this is what you need. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So basically, don't always expect good in life when you know what this life is all about. There's always have to be that balance, that yin and yang. You know, somebody will either will tell you something bad, but don't take it so personal that maybe you even want to kill that person. No. Learn from what that person has said. That's the reason why people will tell you learn from your mistakes. How can you learn from your mistakes?
How?
You know what I mean? Because now you know where not to step or what to do right. Even when you thought you're doing right, somehow you went wrong.
Let me come and hit you with the last question.
Yes, sir. yeah. Because hey, we're running out of beverages here, and and it's been a good night as well. So we want to go do karaoke now, man. We're hearing scatting down there. We've got all different colors of people out there.
That's funny. It's still just my love.
No, leave her alone, man.
No, it's alright.
There we go.
Even if she just sings Kumbaya one time.
Why Kumbaya, bro?
I don't know, because
I'm Demi.
Hey, Debbie, Chris, nice to meet you.
Is that Debbie?
Demi.
Demi, like Demi Moore?
Yeah, exactly.
You're Bruce Willis' wife, Reuben. Reuben, yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's a pleasure, Demi.
Demi. Demi.
Where are you from, Demi?
From the US.
Are you from the US?
Yeah.
Which state?
California.
California. Oh, okay. Because if you're from New York, you'd have had that accent from New York guy. It's from California.
Are you guys from Osaka?
Yes. Born and raised. I was born and raised in Osaka.
You too?
Same here.
And you? Are you also born and raised in Osaka?
No.
Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm Zambian, but I was born in the South Pacific.
Oh, okay. Cool. When did you move from the South Pacific to Zambia?
Yeah, it's been sort of in and out. I did 2005, 2007. I did a couple years. I've always traveled back home regularly. But yeah.
What is like the biggest difference?
I would say
He's back home.
it's interesting. I believe the Caribbean, the South Pacific, and Africa are three very similar sort of societies or regions of the world. So there are a lot of interesting similarities, but also a few distinct differences.
Okay. What is your favorite similarity across all of them?
Yeah, we believe in Wakanda and vibranium.
Man, that's Marvel, man.
And how did you two meet?
Sorry?
I don't even know him.
You don't know each other?
He's a hypocrite. It's actually my sister had to bring him alive. He was like a mummy. He was a corpse. Had to do some black magic, African magic to bring him alive.
Yeah, so Demi,
no, he's my brother. He's my brother. We know each other for what?
So how long have you been here in
I
Zambia?
met Demi Moore on.
Honestly, like 1 week.
1 week? And you're already enjoying everything here?
It's been really nice, yeah.
And the karaoke?
And she was, at one point she was the one who's asking the questions.
Yeah, but
Chris, I was like, oh whoa, she's just taking over the podcast.
I love it.
David, beware, bruv. You've already got a co-host here,
Right.
and she just took over the show and just shooting questions at Chris. I was like, yo, Chris.
I saw it.
Oh, it's between you two, like battleground is between Demi and Chris.
Demi and I met on the set of a very interesting movie from the mid-90s.
Were you Bruce Willis?
I was Bing Rames. If you've watched the movie, it was Demi Moore and I was there.
And what is the point of the podcast? Like, what do you try to communicate to your audience?
Yeah, good vibes, good energy. Dave is amazing. I love the initiative.
That's David's podcast.
Alright, David.
Not this guy right here.
It's okay.
No, yo.
He was explaining something. Eh?
Yeah, I was gonna say good vibes, good energy. I love the fact that it's so raw and direct, and the fact that it's real. So yeah, I believe we talked about mental health, we talked about names, we talked about
conversation started.
also the value of what we do, how we integrate and what we believe in. And so I think that we hide behind a lot of realities because we don't talk to each other enough about the real things.
And people put on a facade, man. A whole lot of people putting on a facade. A whole lot of people want to actually have a fake life out there. You know, be a person that they are not. You know, it's more like kind of acting and whatnot. But I believe just be yourself. You know, that just gives people the freedom to think that you're doing the right thing, not the wrong thing. Because when you're hiding, you know, behind a mask, now why would you want to do that? Just come out in the open and be who you are. And when I say about fake life, like even just Lusaka here, a lot of people want to spend so much money and they got so much debt to go out of their way just to live that fake life of what now people say, you know, it's you know, they want to splurge, you know what I mean, spend so much money or show off. Like, it's that life, man. Like, that's so materialistic. And people are so trapped in that materialistic life.
So is it true, like what I heard, there was someone that I had on the podcast, he mentioned that he's from Copper Belt,
Yeah.
but it seems like that's what he noticed, like here in Lusaka, a lot of people try to show off things that they don't have, or maybe lifestyle that they cannot afford.
It's totally true.
Because of the media stuff that we're in.
It's true.
So how much is it like for you in the US, like people can show off? Is it that common?
In terms of like wanting to have sort of like material things,
Yeah.
and wanting to like show off about that. Yeah, I think it's quite common.
Okay.
Yeah, I think like you have
It's
to.
everywhere. Yeah. Literally.
It's really tough, you know, like people want to feel valued, people want to be able to show that they're worth attention of others, and so you end up in like a really tricky situation where like you don't want to shame someone or like trying to do those things, but what often happens is you end up in a sort of like vicious cycle of like constantly trying to have more and more and more. And I think you guys are talking about it now, but like, if you're able to sort of like focus in on your core values and focus on like, friends that are really good and like, family that's really good and be yourself, I think it's probably
And real friends.
it's easier.
And you need real friends around you. Because I had a conversation with Vitalik tonight. We're talking about if somebody really loves you, they'll tell you what you're doing is wrong or right. They'll either, you know what I mean, praise you for the right that you're doing, but if you're doing wrong, they'll tell you. If that's your true friend or your true brother and sister, they'll tell it as it is. They'll tell it as it is. They won't hide from you, or they won't shame from you. You know what I mean? If somebody's going the wrong direction, please just tell them. If you truly have a consciousness, you know what I mean, and say, what you're doing is bad. But honestly speaking.
What if that person is like, they know what they're doing, and then you think like what they're doing is not right? How good is that? Like you approaching that person, telling them, hey bro, what you're doing is not right. Like it's like you have rights on someone, innit?
Well, I mean, that's the best thing that you could do if you love that person, if you truly love that person. Don't try to actually appease a person by keeping the truth away from them. Don't do that. That's literally killing them. You are the one who's going to be fighting with your conscience that why didn't I tell that person? Maybe something bad can happen to them, and you'd have been probably the savior. You know, you could have been the Jesus Christ in their life at that moment to save them from what they did, bro. So, but listen, honestly speaking, there are a lot of people who are living fake lives out there, and they just want to fit in. Most of them want to fit in. But I feel for you to deal with reality, you have to be realistic. You cannot ever deal with reality and you're a fake person. Why are you living a fake life? Who you trying to appease? Who are you living up to? You know what I mean? Who are you trying to impress? Yourself or people? Those people, today you buy them dopes or food or, you know, alcohol. The next day they'll go to sleep and they won't even care about you. How many friends call you the next morning after you left and they're like, how did you move? Okay, well, are you okay? Okay, cool. So there's a whole lot of facades out there. A lot of people are living, fake lives. You know what I mean? And something that sometimes they can't even afford. You find yourself that all because you got affiliated or used to some kind of lifestyle, you end up boring. Keep on boring and boring and boring. You're in debt. I've heard people who are in debt and then they just come and commit suicide because they just can't face the truth anymore.
Do you have like a friend that you like really look up to? Or like a person that you're like, you know what, this is the type of person that I want to be for myself and also to my friends?
This is one of my closest friends, like a brother to me. I move around with them and I can them. I'm sorry, don't mind the French. Boy, because he's just one person. He's in my mindset. If he does wrong, I'll tell him off. I won't, just because we get along, I won't tell him like, yo, dude, man, what you said to that person was bad. You shouldn't do that. Because we've got a certain standard of how we move. We've got a certain kind of code.
I do think it's like so important to have like really high quality people around you who like set the bar. And like you can push the bar further and you set the bar for each other in certain situations. Because like without that, I think it can be quite easy to set the bar lower and act in a way that is like less. Yeah, it's just like it's like not something to be as proud of, but you think it's acceptable, and so you go on living that life. So like to have someone like that you feel that good about is huge.
He's another brother. I met him a couple of times way back, and we had a conversation. Then we did our first podcast, and our podcast was so natural and organic. We're having this conversation, and we're talking about how sometimes people want to script life itself. It's like you know how you can even literally script your life. Imagine you waking up today and saying, I'm gonna fake it again.
Fake it till you make it.
I hate that word. I hate that saying. Fake it till you make it? Why would you? No. Why would you want to fake it till you make it? Why don't you work on making it? Don't fake it. Don't even. That's the reason why they tell you don't tell anybody your next move, because it's like letting your enemy knowing what's your next move. You never know.
Really?
This is, well, sorry to jump in right there.
No,
but this is where we have to be real.
We don't say sorry,
This is
bro.
where we have to be real with ourselves, and we have to actually decide and ask ourselves, so who actually decides whether you're making it or you're faking it? So whatever you do, you better be comfortable with you when you're looking at yourself in the mirror to make sure that whatever you're doing is of a certain standard, of a certain caliber. So it's unfortunate when you take the cup out or the cheap way out, and you literally even announce it and say faking it. It's sad because acclaim and self gratification is something that is so important, because mindfulness is the key to all of our existence and our future.
True. Mindfulness, man. You have to think about the things that you do that probably are going to actually, they're going to probably change your whole, way of life. At the same time, the consequences to what you do, the repercussions. Trust me.
So,
I
me more.
have one question before I go, which is like, when you don't act in a way that you feel, let's repurpose this. When you're acting in a way that you feel like is mindful, you feel positive about, does it feel good, or does it feel like you're removing guilt? Like or is it something totally different?
Oh man, I feel you're being real to yourself. Come on, like he said, like I said, who you trying to impress in life?
I feel like I have it's removing a guilt. Like I have like this expectation for myself that is like, if you're not acting in a way that's like positive, then I feel bad. And like if I'm acting in a way that's positive, good. That's like what I should be doing. I don't know how you guys feel.
Yeah, because how could you feel guilty about being a good person?
Well, if you say that you like, it would be like, how do I say this?
but we're not always good. I mean, that's what she's trying to say.
Oh yeah. But I feel that's the reason why I feel that if you are doing something to hide from the guilt, I don't think that makes you a good person, or a greater person. Yeah. I feel like you should whatever you do in life, you know what I mean? You should be very cautious about what you do. But if you feel that guilt and you said, look, what I said, I feel like, when you confess to yourself, it's like, you confessing to your inner God or your inner self or your inner universe, because you go back and say, what I said to that person was bad. but you didn't really get, that, you didn't get that moment to apologize to that person. If you find that person the next day, you can do that. But I feel the most guilt that you would have in your life is not being true to yourself. You can not be true to anybody else. You won't have that deeper guilt. But now when you are not true to yourself, that's the deepest guilt that you ever have. And if you've got so much pride, you will never say sorry to yourself and say, I am so sorry for what I did to myself and not to that person.
I'm so sorry. I must go to the restroom.
So many sorries.
So wait.
You need to go be with your.
So no, just because. So
go do some
okay, so
karaoke.
one of us needs to propose to Demi because that's just what happens in crazy. Put her on the
I
spot
told you that
in
you
front
like
of
women.
everybody on the
He
podcast.
tries.
So if we propose to her on the podcast, she has to say yes, right?
No, what
right,
would you
Dave?
want to
Isn't
do?
that what we signed
This
up
has
for?
got so many rings on her fingers. She's probably married.
She
I
does.
just
She
want to
got
say,
one more.
I've only heard a small bit of what you guys are doing, but from what I have heard, I think it's really great what you're doing.
Of course.
The best of luck. with everything.
Hey, positive spirit.
thank you
Thank you
for
for
letting
coming
me
to.
go.
Well, go tell your friends. Hey, there's a podcast in the
What's
back.
it called?
Old Crow.
Old Crow.
Old Crow podcast. So tell your friend. Tell a friend. Tell them to come through. It was a pleasure, ma'am. It was a pleasure.
Meet you, Demi.
Jamie,
guys.
what's your surname, by the way?
I
What's your last
can't
name?
say it on the podcast.
Oh, okay. For security,
There
eh?
you go.
Don't you work for the CIA or
There you
something?
go.
Oh, you know, like
She didn't actually say yes or no, did she?
We're not trying to say she's.
I think like I had mentioned that each point that it brings out always gives me like a reason, like always gives more questions on it. He mentioned about mindfulness, okay?
Yeah, you have to be
touched my, like,
mindful.
yeah. What did you mean by that? For someone who doesn't understand.
So yeah, mindfulness is actually a very, very interesting area and something that we should always be very, very conscious of. It's about the ability to train your mind or to be able to be aware of just what you are doing with your mind. You know, your brain is a muscle, you know. It exercises just like everything else, you know. And so are you feeding it good? Are you feeding it bad? So, you know, one of the most interesting and amazing things about mindfulness is yin, yang, chalk, cheese, positive, negative. They don't go together. They don't, okay, yin and yang too. I've definitely met a few yin. Sorry, jokes.
Why is saying sorry?
I told you there's so many stories tonight.
No, but so yeah, mindfulness. Negativity cannot stay with positivity. So I'll give you an example of the highest level of mindfulness. If you are that much aware and you are performing at an optimum level of your mindfulness, you can actually remove yourself from one of your most negative moments or one of your biggest downs if you can focus on the things you love. You know, my beautiful children, you know what I mean? The time we have together.
Oh, yeah.
You know, what you look forward to.
Yeah.
The dreams that you have. You know, what God has given you, what He's brought you through. You know, if you can find the ability to find something to be grateful for, you'd be surprised. You could rise yourself out of anything.
Mr. Chris, you really sound... Wow.
This guy gave a speech. I've got
I
a
know,
story
right?
to tell.
I know.
This guy gave a speech on his Malusaka launch for his app. It was by Radisson Blue. I don't remember the date and the month. So basically, he gave a wonderful, very electrifying speech. He wasn't reading from a teleprompter or a paper or his phone. He gave a very, very strong speech. I felt like this guy, is he running for president? Because of the gravity of his speech and the connotation and the weight of each and every other word made everybody just go silent. And there was this calm, kind of like this, even like you could really now feel the air conditioning working. Room was nice and cool. Then I approached his mother And I told her, like, I haven't met you, Mrs. Sakala, Mrs. Sakala. I met you, I'm your friend, I'm the friend to your son. He gave a very wonderful speech tonight. You know what she said? Nah, it's just a mortar mouth. After everything was so serious, and all of a sudden, I cracked.
Okay.
I left. This is his mom.
Elizabeth.
Yes, that's the mom. That's Mama Elizabeth.
Elizabeth.
But, you know, from what she said, it was very, very satirical. It was so funny.
Okay.
But she knows him better. All I'm just saying is that this guy gave one of those speeches. I've heard speeches in my life. Martin Luther King speech, yeah, it's also got his depth. So many people have made speeches. You know, Haile Selassie's speech at the League of Nations, all those speeches. That's one thing that we don't really tap into. There's so many people who gave so many speeches, even Nelson Mandela, Kenneth Kaunda. They've given speeches that really made society shake and the whole world shake.
We should be repeating them.
Yes, we need to learn about these speeches. We need to have our children, you know, repeating our kind of like rehearsing these speeches at school plays and all those things. I think Africa needs to go back to the roots.
But do you think it will or it can?
It can work, you know, because, you know, remember we're talking about how the word has got power. So I was just talking about the speech. His speech has so much power. Everybody was just, even me, I was just like, remember you asked me, like, you told me, like, oh, Reuben, don't sleep. Like, I'm dozing off. But for me, every time somebody's talking, I listen. I get into the words, everything they're saying. You know? Whether you're speaking whatever language I'm able to understand, I'll still listen to you. Whether it's English, Nyanja, Bemba, if I'm able to articulate that language you're speaking, I will listen. Because if you're telling me something that's full of wisdom and knowledge, and something that's so positive and it's got power, see, it makes my spirit now calm down and want to listen to you, because I need that to build myself. I'm not complete by myself. I'll tell you one thing. The reason why I love this brother, man, so much, no Diddy.
You have to mention that.
Allegedly, we don't know. He hasn't been sentenced yet. So,
Baby oil.
Come on, man.
I'm just saying, they sell it at ShopRite. They still have them in Zambia because there's no city in Zambia, is what I'm saying. Shout out to ShopRite, they have baby oil. For all the people who are trying to give birth, we still have baby oil. It's not all at Diddy's mansion.
Podcast.
It's not at Diddy's mansion.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what I'm
man.
saying.
Hey, don't lose my
Couldn't
train.
get the DHL.
I'm going to lose my train of thought. Reason why I mess around with him, I'm able to, what Damie said. So you need to actually affiliate yourself. Thank you very much, sir. You need to affiliate yourself with people in life who are going to add value to your life. You need to hang around people who are going to actually make you greater than you are in life. Because you also want to reciprocate. You also want to say the same thing that they say to you, especially if they do have the potential itself. But like I said, if somebody's going wrong in their life, you should have the audacity to tell them that, my guy, my sister, my brother, you're going the wrong way, you're going the wrong direction. Even I, myself, if I'm going the wrong direction, I always try to seek, direction from the Most High Yahweh. And I feel, trust me, for me, I'm a true believer in the Creator. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, if you're lost, today you'll be lost, you'll be in your downest moment. What are you going to do? You shall kneel down and pray like Daniel in the lion's den, because you're a believer in the Most High. I feel there's a certain source that's going to give you that power of positivity that's going to make you carry on in life no matter what happens.
Mr. Chris,
Yes, sir.
they still get back to you.
They do.
You sound like you were once a church boy. Big time.
Yeah.
It's a prayerful person.
Okay, tell me about your
man.
Christian life.
So
Yeah, praise for days. Man.
So, yeah, first and foremost, we believe in prayer. We pray all the time.
Yeah.
Russ Rubes was not sure the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was not sure what I was trying to do, and we started praying in public. We believe in praying. We believe in God.
Okay.
Draw powers.
Imagine
Jump
you
out.
holding hands in public. Even when you're about to eat some goat meat,
Yeah, man.
or you feel a certain kind of that's him.
The Most High. We
And
must give thanks.
I told him that I had to deal with it. I felt like, why should I be embarrassed to pray in public? Like then I'm thinking to myself, yo man, that's wrong. How many people would you influence if they saw you praying in public? Because people always want to either go out to church on Sunday. Yeah, man. I mean, but before you lose your train of thought. Because he asked you.
So yeah, no.
He sounds like he used to be.
Yeah.
A church going president.
I'm. Look, so very, very, very proud Christian. I'm a spiritual man. I have a direct relationship with the Father. I gave my life over to Christ in 2020, against all odds, right in the middle of COVID-19.
I almost died.
COVID-19, right. as I was submersing myself, yeah, I might have been getting what? Omicron.
He's drinking lemon tea.
So, no, I grew up in an interesting God-fearing house. We went to church with Mom, Anglican church. I don't know, it was always interesting. I've got certain question marks I have about church. Somewhere, somehow, the name church, I believe, originates from Circe. Circe is one of the greatest Medusas we have that history has. And Medusa is a what? A hypnotist.
It's like a Greek goddess.
Yeah, some kind of ancient. I wouldn't even say God. Well, goddess or whatever.
Though.
Yeah, mythology, right? It's centered around whether
it's a myth.
Call it a witch of sorts. Who they say Medusa. When you enter her chambers and the door closes, you know what I mean? You're hypnotized. She's got you.
Especially if you look in her eyes.
Yeah, you look in her eyes, right? So, it's quite an interesting topic. It's one that it's hard to really discuss and go into without offending or creating a situation where you feel like you're selling something to someone. You always feel like you're trying to justify your beliefs. I just say there's a lot of different things that are out there in the world, and we believe in God, we believe in Jah, but I definitely don't want to go to the Vatican.
Wow.
Yeah, it keeps on getting weirder and weirder.
Right.
Ras, I think now let's come to the conclusion. Now you can still have more of this.
No, man. I think I need to do a karaoke tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be back. I'll be back once in a while. I'll be bringing weird people like him on the podcast. Weird, intelligent people.
Much appreciated. Otherwise.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's my boy, and I told him I did a podcast last week, Friday. I was pretty impressed with your podcast the first time I saw it, and literally I thought to myself, this brother man is on a very righteous path, because you don't interview celebrities, man. You're out there and interviewing people from different walks of life, and in a place where it's one of the most lovely, craziest place in a good way. In inverted commas, it's nice and crazy because everybody wants to just have fun, and you know what karaoke does to you. Karaoke just gets you in the mood. The more that you the better.
The mood to do what then?
The more chilea. When you're off key, the better. Come back watching you.
You get it.
This guy was born. Didn't he tell you? What is South Pacific? What was it?
South what?
Samoan. He's a Samoan. Satlango. You should hear him try to speak vernacular.
Oh,
Just-
it's that.
no, man,
no,
he's
it's
back
not
home though. He's back home, so he's learning
catching
the
up,
ropes.
yeah?
He's catching up.
Oh, so it's from Sparta, but Sparta from one side.
I'd be tying things up, man. I know the ropes.
I'm sure he told you where it's coming from.
Yeah, I've
He's
heard.
back
I've
home.
heard. I've heard.
Yo, David, yeah, we
Mr.
can,
Chris,
we can,
before we
we
go,
can wrap this up.
Mr.
Yeah.
Chris, you
Yes, sir.
do karaoke here.
A bit of reggae, man. You know, a bit of reggae or something. You know, that's karaoke. Karaoke at home is awesome because we
Talk
sing
about
the
here,
full
What
man.
do you
song.
mean
Talk
about
about
home?
home.
No, wait a
Talk
minute.
about
No, as
here.
in, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What do you mean at home?
Yeah, like as in
Which
when I said home. Actually, I was comparing it to. I was talking about Zambia because I've done karaoke in a lot of other countries and they like to sing songs like
But have you ever done
the
karaoke here by
Beatles, the
Oakland?
Rolling
Yeah.
Stones.
Have you ever done karaoke? I think we did last time.
Dolly Parton. Yeah, no, we have. Yeah. Bit of reggae, bit of hip hop. Yeah.
So, what's the major
Some
difference
rock and
between
dance
from the other side, from home and home? What's the major difference about karaoke?
Boring music. Here we sing up a piano and tracks like right there. There's like a little bit of exile in the background you can hear. You know? So happy days, you know what I mean? I love it.
Old talk, baby.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, big shout out to Rims. He's a superstar, amazing gentleman. He's a pioneer and he's a visionary. What he has here, the
He's a
authenticity
people's person.
of what he has is something that
A lot of people.
we are so humbled
Shout out to you,
by.
boss.
Yeah, by the effort, the ability to do that. I saw him at the Zamtrex, the Travel Expo, and this man played for me a vinyl, Tupac, All Eyes on Me in the middle of the expo. I was like, yeah, West Sides were everywhere. It was amazing. Rims, shout out, brother, one love.
Give thanks. Give thanks.
Big ups. Russ, your closing remarks on this one.
Calling
On
who?
tonight's episode.
Who am I?
Your closing remarks on the tonight's
Oh,
episode.
my closing remarks.
Yeah.
I love to be put on the spot because now I have to really get used to it.
Okay.
Reason why, because we'll be coming back now, once in a while. This platform that you created, David, my brother David, my closing remarks is that don't you ever let anybody tell you what you're not worth. In life, if you know you're worth something, don't you ever let anybody tell you no, you're not worth it. Show them that you're worth it. So basically, my closing remarks is magnify yourself and reach out to the Most High in you. There's the Creator. The Creator in you is more greater than the Creator you seek out there. The God in you is much greater than the God you seek out there. So those are my closing remarks.
Mr. Chris, Christ, you said Christ what?
Christ offer, carrier of Christ.
Christ offer. Hey, Mr. Christopher. Your closing remarks on tonight's episode.
Well, first and foremost, God bless you, David.
Oh, I'm humble. Thanks.
Yeah, God bless you, right hand, Russ Rooms. God bless everybody who's out there right now listening. I think that I'm extremely humbled by the opportunity. I thank Dave for all of his effort, for his his commitment to a vision or a dream, because it only takes someone with a certain extraordinary kind of passion and desire to actually have the courage to do this at a time when everyone's having a good time. So I just want to say thank you for sharing this time with us. We hope that you've had a good time as much as we have. Keep the
he's
fire
all smiling,
burning
bro.
and
David's always
onwards and
smiling.
upwards, one Zambia, one nation.
Would want to talk to your woman, man. Want to talk to you.
You read,
Man, why would I talk to a woman for, man?
Ask him why is this guy's always
The
smiling?
last time I let this dude talk.
Is David always smiling?
No, Dave.
Do not
Do
disrespect.
not let.
No disrespect. What's your woman? Why are you trying to make things
I
look?
was smiling because of you mentioned
what's
about
up,
passion
yeah,
as well.
no,
Okay?
passion,
Yeah. You brought in passion. I was like, okay. I don't think you noticed
Going
that.
back.
I don't think you noticed that he was talking about passion a lot.
Yeah, passion. Very passionate, man.
Wow, I love the passion that. I like the fact that you have the passion to speak out. But I would love if I heard a speech. And I think that was one of the last questions I wanted to ask. Do you think you mentioned about speeches, okay? And you said, I wish we can raise more of the speeches like the way Nelson Mandela, Kate Kaunda, Martin Luther, how they used to do those speeches. And looking at right now, I don't think it's something that we consider too much, but it's very important, okay? So like you mentioned that you normally talk about speeches. And
when I heard his speech, it was similar to the speeches that I've heard from all my aspiring and the leaders that have inspired me in life. For me, I'm a Pan-Africanist, you know, so I follow people like Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Haile Selassie, Patrice Lumumba, Jomo Kenyatta, all those people who fought for the good of humanity, not only good for the good of black liberation or African liberation, but for humanity. One thing that people don't understand is that most of these freedom fighters, they did not fight just for the liberation of Africans to be independent, you know, or to be free from the shackles of slavery, but now for us to love each other as humans, whether white, black, Indian. That was, and it still is, the pinnacle of the struggle. For us humans to live as one.
Okay.
Yes, that unity. That's the reason why even, you know, we had the OAU, Organization of African Unity. Now it's the African Union. But all these leaders had a blueprint for us to live one as human beings. Period. To love, because love conquers all. Love conquers all. If we love each other as human beings, where are we going to find the space to start being racist or being prejudiced? You know? Or thinking I'm better than you because I'm richer, or I'm better than you because I've got a lighter skin, or I am a Mzungu, you are an African. No, man. That's not the way humanity was built. That's not the way God's intention of creating human beings was. Not us to be separated, to hate each other. No, it was for us to love each other. So we can go into context about how Satan came through and now the hate. So now we're letting, if we hate each other, if I hate you, I'm now letting Satan in myself rule over me to hate you instead of loving you. Even when you do me wrong, that's why God will tell you, vengeance is unto me. Let God revenge. Don't take it upon yourself, because you might do something wrong. You might kill somebody, and then suddenly you end up in jail. You've committed murder. So basically, I feel that even you never know. You are playing a part in bringing people together. Do you know that? This is not a podcast where it deals with segregation, where you want to make somebody feel special because maybe you got a Mzungu or a Zambian or an African, and like, no, I reserve this. But have you seen the unity that's happening by Old School, all because of your podcast? People are able to sing on one stage. Way back, there used to be a lot of racism. Black people and white people or colored people wouldn't be in the same place, or lighter people, they wouldn't be. They were segregated, they were separated. Because that's how the system or the devil will separate your minds. By separating you. By thinking you are more superior than the other, or you're better than the other.
But you're always deep.
Well,
Deep.
yo, why should we be shallow when I think naturally that's how we're built to think?
I know.
I mean, your creator created your brain. You know, your sixth senses is not a shallow spiritual being. The highest. That's what the Most High is called, the Most High, because it's up there as that. So, you're doing a great job, Old Core Podcast. I feel already. I pray for you ever since I met you, ever since I met anybody that I've ever met in my whole life. I pray for them. Whether they're good to me or bad to me. Today you do me wrong, I'll pray for you and say,
I think that's why he's successful there, isn't it?
this guy is gonna do greater things in life. And we are going places. Yeah, definitely, man. You know what I mean? And we're creating one thing that you should also don't subtract yourself from the equation. You know what I mean? You are part of the family. Now we know you. That's how we get to connect ourselves. We shouldn't always want to always talk to you only because we want to talk about a podcast. I want to call you the next morning like, oh, David, so what's the next move? So from a podcast, what can we invest in? Can we invest in Bitcoin? Can we invest in what? Mining? Can we invest in, what are you into? You know what I mean? Can we invest into clothing? Can we invest into branding? What are we going to do next? How can we diversify from what we now know can be actually very solid and can be very profitable? Because we're here to support you. The same way you also support people. Whenever they're here, people are able to say about the business or talk about the business, what they're into. Already, they're using your platform to market themselves. Even without them having a business, because I'm my own brand. This is his own brand.
And I am.
And you also your own brand. If I say Reuben aka the Black Jew, people are like, I like the way that guy is, and I like the whole team, how this guy set up the whole thing. So basically, can we work with them? That's how we form formidable teams and forces that can break any other barrier. And that's how you set certain platforms that are going to help a lot of people. Remember I told you, we need to actually set standards for the next generation to come in a very positive way. We should influence them in a very, very positive way. I'm a parent, he's a parent. I don't know about you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure you got nephews and nieces.
I do,
of course, yeah. So I told you, we are leaders of today, but the next generation are the leaders tomorrow, and the next generations to come. So if we make sure we influence this generation in a very positive way, they're going to be looking at us and say, you guys, you made an impact on our lives because we wanted to be good people or better people and became the best in our life. You know, there's that trinity of good, better, best. Worst, worst, and worst.
Good, and
Cow.
Caw-Caw, so yeah.
It's a good time, so yeah, we need to roll, bro. Yeah, we need to go sing some
Well,
karaoke.
it's been me, David, and Reuben, as well as Christ's offer.
Give thanks.
One time.
Salutes.
Thank
So,
you. Bless up.
this is the time where we say Caw-Caw.
Let the good times roll.
Oh, thank you very much, people.
Bless up. Bless up.
Always.
No, we give thanks, Baba.
Always.
Let the good times roll, not roll on, man. He's trying to change
Yo,
though.
man, but when we roll on so that we get it on. Once we roll. When we roll, it's going to be
Cow,
on, right?
cow.
Thank you
Let the
very,
good
very
times
much.
roll.